Hello everyone. All of you are going through a phase where you are applying for SSC CGL 2016, and I'm sure 99% of the candidates have a confusion that what is the preference of the post that they should fill, right? There are so many posts, which post they should fill first, which post they should fill second, and so on. And there are 30 posts right now, so this is a big confusion that they have. You know, uh, there are various parameters on which you can fill these posts. you know the first parameter is that probably you want to fill the post by the job profile, right? A second parameter would be you would love to fill the post who with a higher salary first. The third parameter could be a place where you get a place where you want to have your posting, right? Probably for you the position does not matter, the salary does not matter, right? So there could be various parameters. Up now, if I look at SSC CGL 2016, among these various posts available, SSC has not declared the number of posts, because as the culture says, generally these posts are declared only after tier 1 result or tier 2 result, right? So as of now, we don't know what will be the number of posts in SSC CGL 2016. So how do we decide, right? So people, those who want to go with on the basis of their profile or on the basis of the salary, can easily decide. But people, those who want to go on the basis of the location, find it difficult, right? So here I am presenting you the breakup of the post for SSC CGL 2015, and we will assume that the post in 2016 will remain the same or will go slightly higher, right? But it will give us a fair idea that which department has how many posts, right? Again, we will not have state wise distribution, which state is going to have how many. So let's see. These are the number of posts that you had in 2015, right? And the total number of vacancies. So for example, you have you have this 597 post for CSS, you have one post for CVC, you have 58 post for intelligence bureau, and so on, like that. Now the first criteria is let's say job profile. If I talk about job profile, among the job profile, what I can see is that this year, instead of this post, you have a post of assistant audit officer, right? Whose grade pay is not 4600, rather 4800, right? So I would say that this post can be the best possible post, although I'm not very sure how many vacancies will be there, since this is a new post, so the number of vacancies should not be very high. Secondly, this post requires an additional examination, a paper 4 in tier 2, right, on general studies, which has finance and economics as its core part. Although the eligibility criteria says that you need to be a graduate, people having MBA, MBE, CS, CA, ICWA, and such commerce or accounting related profiles will be desirable, right? But in any case, if you clear paper 4, it hardly matters. Now, so which post should I fill first? So if I look at the profile, I find this profile to be very good, so I can keep this option as my first option, right? After that, people look for power, people look for a post which has social value, right? So if I talk about social value, I find this examiner post as the best, because these text related posts are considered as the best post. So for if you want to go ahead with these posts, among these, examiner post is the best post. So your second preference should be this. Then you can have preventive officer, next best. Then you can have this central excise. So the next post that you can opt for is the income tax inspector, which a lot of people eye. But I'll tell you the one thing: the post of a central excise officer, a preventive officer, or an examiner is far better than an income tax inspector, right? So now you have your first 5 posts, right? After that, again, tax related posts are the posts which have a lot of social value. So next you can go for a Directorate of Enforcement, Department of Revenue, as an assistant enforcement officer. So you can go for 6th as this, right? probably now after that, when you have post with social value and you have got the top 6 posts, your next criteria for this can be salary, a good great pay, right? So now look at posts which have 4600 great pay, right? These all posts, right? So among these posts you can combine various criterias, like if I talk about CSS, generally this gets posting in Delhi or in capital state. So people who want to prefer for Delhi or capital states can go for this post. Otherwise you can go for, Intelligence Bureau. You can go for Central Vigilance Commission as well, right? You can go for Ministry of External Affairs. These all have a grade pay of 4600, right? Another exciting post one might find is, a post of the post of a divisional accountant in CAG. This post is again an important post. A lot of people have great interest in CAG. The job role is very exciting, so you can go for this post as well, right? So after these 6 posts, you can decide, which post you want to go for, right? Or what is exciting for you? Is it the job location? Right, capital cities, then go for CSS, right? Or is it, the profile? You can go for CAG, you can go for Intelligence Bureau or Vigilance Commission, right? Or is it the comfort, the benefits provided? You can go for Ministry of Railways. In most of the cases you will get free travel, right? You can go for Ministry of External Affairs as well. After that, after all this, I find more or less all the posts are same, for a simple reason. These are very, specific posts depending on your interest. For example, you have narcotics inspector in narcotics, you have sub inspector in National Investigation Agency. That depends. Are you interested in these posts, right? Do you have inclination towards these job profiles? Inspector in post office, again, a profile of interest, Central Bureau of Investigation as sub inspector. If you have interest in Intelligence Bureau, I would prefer you to go for assistant first, then go for sub inspector, right? So this is the way you can decide your post in among the interview profile, right? This is one criteria. The next criteria would be for non-interview posts. These are the non-interview posts, right? If I look at non-interview posts, there is one category called auditor. There is another category called accountant. UDC has been discontinued this year, but has been replaced by senior typist, right? There is tax assistant, there is sub inspector, there is compiler, right? Which one should I go for? I believe the best post is auditor or a tax assistant, right? Because again, these posts have some social value. Among auditor and tax assistant, you can go for auditor because auditor's grade pay is higher, it's 2800. After that, after these 3 posts, you can go for tax assistant, right? Post with some social value. Then again, when you're left with these remaining 5 posts, you can go for the post with a higher salary. So you can go for accountant post, right? After that, you can go for UDC or the post replaced by UDC. Then you can go for sub inspector narcotics department. Again, that's one post which is of interest of some niche population. So if you have interest in that, you can put it higher in your priority. And compiler is totally dependent on your qualification. If you have statistics as a major subject in your graduation, then only you can apply for this post, right? So this is the criteria where I have kept the job profile, the job salary, and the interest of the candidate. This will help you in filling your preference for the post. The second criteria could be location. Let's go to the interview post again, and I'll rub this entire thing. In this now, someone asked me, sir, I wanted to get posted in Delhi, what should be my preference of post? I said that I have this, total number of posts, right? But I don't know what is the state-wise breakup of all these posts. So how do I decide, right? One post I know, CSS, it is in Delhi. Let's say if for someone Delhi is not specific, he wants a XYZ place. How do I know? Let's look at very simple. Apply simple logic. The post for which there are maximum number of vacancies, right, is likely to have vacancies across India and in various cities, and is likely to have more vacancies in your desired city than any other post. So for example, if a post is having 5 vacancies and there is a post having 1200 vacancies, which post is likely to have more vacancies in your desired city? Obviously the post with 1200 vacancies. So in this case your criteria could be this, let's go ahead, you can fill this as the first priority, and again this post is a very high social value post. Then you can go for CSS, right, a post which has a lot of peaceful life, right. Then you can go for a post called CAG post, a post with an exciting profile, right. After that you can go for a post in income tax inspector, lot many post, again social value, salary, more chances of selection, more chances of getting into your desired location, right. After that you can go for post like Air Force headquarter, a post with a pride, you will be working for Indian Air Force, right. So you can go for this as well. You can go for Ministry of External Affairs, a post which gives you an opportunity to travel abroad, right. And then you can decide again on the number of vacancies. I forgot to mention the post of preventive officer. This should have been your post at a priority of 3rd or 4th, right. And then you have examiner as well, right. So these are the again prominent posts which you can go for. So now what my logic is, in 2016 I do not know what will be the number of vacancies in these various posts. So I will assume that the posts which have higher number of vacancies in 2015, that means these have a lot of vacancies, are going to have higher vacancies in 2016 as well. So on the basis of 2015 I can fill my preference for 2016. This is one thing. The same I can apply here as well. I can see 1574 here, I can see 1500 here. So these two posts should be my first two preferences. Then I can go for this one, then I can go for this one with 500 and 490, and this one has 700 vacancies. Then the remaining are very few, right. So this can be one thing. Now people will ask, how do I ensure that the post that you have in 2015, the number of vacancies for various posts will be the same in 2016? Look, there cannot be anyone who can be sure about that unless SSC declares a number of posts. But there is one thing, after completion of your tier 2 examination, when you go for a skills test or typing test or a document verification, you are asked your preference once again, and it is an unsaid unsaid truth, which is not mentioned anywhere in the notification, but you are always asked a new preference of your post, and when they consider giving you the any post, they only take that the final application into account, not the one which you are doing right now. So probably one would say that then that makes no sense. So I would say that it does make sense, because this is something which is unsaid. This has happened in the past every year, but you can never be sure that this will happen in the next year as well, right. So you have to take this preference list as again very seriously, right. Fill this preference list based on your assumption that the number of vacancies in 2016 will remain the same, right, in the same ratio, like CSS or Central Excise Inspector or Preventive Officer, or CAG Divisional Accountant or Income Tax Inspector will have higher number of vacancies, right. But when you will be going for the actual document verification or the skills test, when you will be going for the stage 3 of the process, you will have the actual data in your hand for 2016, and then you can decide further, right. I hope this session would have helped you in understanding how to fill the preference, and you would have understood by now is that the preference varies from person to person, because the parameter may not be the same for every individual. So you have to decide your own parameter. I've given you a brief idea how various parameters can be taken into account while filling the preference. I hope this would have helped you. If you have any doubt, you can come back to us at support@careerlauncher.com. Right, thank you so much.